Well. Welcome to Volmaggedon 2024. I was way overdue for a video, and no better time than the present. I'm sure you're aware by now that the last 3 days has been pretty crazy, and mostly due to the volatility spike, which hasn't been seen since COVID. And really, we haven't seen a one-day move like this since 2018, so 6 years. I definitely lost a good chunk of money, like anyone that is short premium surely did. We'll go over that in a second. First, I want to just look at these charts real quick. Top chart here is the MES, and the bottom chart here is the VIX futures. And I think it's going to be a little hard to see, but the status line here for the futures is right here. And today, Monday the 5th of August, 2024, the VIX closed just under 47% higher in one day. And the VIX futures went all the way up almost to 37. And at one point, I think we were down about 4% on the day. Last night, on Sunday night, I woke up to the futures, and thankfully, the market was already starting to go, and I just closed out basically any and every short put that I had. And I mean, by then it was almost too late already. Most were, in the 400% loser category, even though I'm aiming for like 200%. But, Friday, things were like negative 160 to I think the one was like 195, and obviously hindsight's 2020. Should have closed them out then, but man, holy cow, you wake up, well, not wake up, but Sunday evening, market's tanking, and yeah, it just had to. That's why you trade the futures. I mean, I could have been real screwed had I not closed those out and then just let things ride. Ultimately we had a pretty hard bounce here. It was down 4%, and then it closed down, was at almost 3%. But still, that's a hard hit to take. Anyways, I just want to take a look at the VIX charts here real quick, just to show you how crazy this move has been. And really, the losses have just come on the VIX explosion, right? None of my positions were remotely close to being in the money or any kind of danger. It's just that the premium on the VIX totally killed everything. This is now the VIX chart, VIX, and today this supposedly had a print right around 65, which we haven't seen that since the COVID crash, which seems insane. What could possibly be in comparison to that right now? I know there's stuff going on, but nothing like shutting down the whole world. And that is the single biggest candle since 2018. Where is this candle? I think I found one here in 2018. Come down here. Yeah, this one up here was 117% in one day. So that was even crazier. That was the 2018 Volmaggedon that everybody talks about. I guess one positive going forward is that was nearly the top. The next day in 2018 it went up even higher, up to 50, and then really tapered off in the next few weeks. And after about a month, it's way down here at 13 again. Definitely not saying that we're at a top right now, but hopefully most of the pain is over, because again, I can't imagine that this is going to be equal to the COVID. Like, it seems insane already. I have no idea where this volatility spike came from. I mean, nobody does. It makes no sense to me. It's just almost seems rigged. It's just crazy. This is now the weekly VIX chart, which goes all the way back to 1990. And just today, this is the weekly chart, right? Just today, we had a spike higher than everything except for COVID. And then, what is this? The 2008 housing crash. So, I mean, that just goes to show you how how crazy this move is. I mean, there's nothing in comparison to these two events that's going on right now, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, there's some indicators, people are calling for a recession and stuff, but I mean, this happened over a couple weeks, right? This is one day. It's just crazy. Here's the weekly VX futures, and same thing, right? I mean, one day, this is the weekly chart, and one day we went up to 36. Haven't seen that since COVID, and that's even a higher spike of Volmaggedon here compared to 2018. So the VIX futures just today, we went up 46%, 47% almost. Here is the span of the COVID crash, and none of these days get as high as 47%. That's 17. Some of these bigger ones are right here. 12, 24, 18, 34. And that's it. What's this big candle here? 36. So out of all the COVID stuff, today, a seemingly random Monday in August, was a bigger spike in the VIX than during COVID. It blows my mind. And then here we go. This is 2018. And on the 5th of February, instead of the 5th of August, it went up 112% in one day. So today's move was the largest move since 2018. One last VIX chart. This is the volatility on volatility, the VVIX. And again, this is just a huge outlier. This is a weekly chart, and we're way up here at 190, 192. The max that COVID got was like 209, 210. What's this? Volmaggedon in 2018 was 202. And then August of 2015 got way up here at 210. That's about the highest print. That and COVID are like tied. Again, just more evidence that this is a crazy outlier move, and it would have been hard for anyone to defend. That being said, here is my account, and this is all that I have open. I slowly but surely closed out all the short puts first, and then I kind of got a lucky bounce and gained some of it back here, especially in this contributions account. That had dipped down to like $600. I had bought some protective puts first thing on Sunday night. Those ended up paying off, somewhat counteracted the losses. I tried to do the same thing with the futures account, but I had a lot more positions there. Actually, now that I think about it, I did have one successful position there that offset like $1,700 or something. I mean, this futures account potentially could have gotten totally blown out had I not taken action and closed trades, bought some hedges, and yeah, it's just crazy to think all this because of the spike in the VIX. All the positions that I had on the short puts, I mean, they were still like 20% out of the money, like nowhere even close. But with the spike in the VIX, you go from, I opened some of those around 12, I think, 12 to 15, and then boom, the VIX goes up briefly to 60. I mean, it's just crazy. And the IV ranks, same thing. I opened around, I don't know, I think some of them I got as high as in the 20s or 30s. But now look at this, it's at 215. I mean, it's just crazy. It just boggles my mind. I can't get over it. It's so silly. It's just silly, and it set everybody back that sells premium. So after all that, I actually opened 2 new trades, just one each. I have one short put for this contributions account and the futures account. It's already up 23% in one day. I think if this gets up to about 30%, I might just cash out and take my quick $25. But we'll see. In theory, it can't get too much worse. Knock on wood. I mean, the IV is crazy at 215. The VIX is already high. So even if the market sells off against this, it's pretty unlikely that you know, these are going to be losers too. But you never know, man. Never thought the VIX would spike so hard in just 1 or 2 days. To quantify the damage done to my accounts, August 1st, this futures account was at $2,040. So just 5 days ago, right? And it now sits at 1157. Looks like it's off a couple ticks, but basically lost 43% on this account. At one point, this had definitely dipped below 1,000 on the net lick. It was down in like, I think it was in the 850 range. And that was with me closing out all those trades. Had I had to ride out that whole wave, I mean, it literally could have wiped it out. I don't know. I guess you get to the end of the day or something if you get a margin call, but that's crazy. I just watched Sweet Bobby's video and he had a similar thing happen in one of his accounts. Luckily he got a bounce and a lot of it came back, but he lost a similar amount, like 35, 40%, something like that. I can't quite remember. I also watched Tom King's video from today and he lost 37%. So all these people that are short the 112s and the 111s, I mean, everybody got taken out to the woodshed today. Over to this contributions account. I hadn't updated yet, but last month I contributed $636. So the account went up to $983 instead of like $344. And again, on August 1st, it was at $994. And, you know, it was up 1.5%. But now it's at $844, dropped a little bit more, and lost about 15% in just one day on that account. So not too bad. I mean, that one only had one short put. So I got lucky there and just closed it out. No, actually I think it had two. So anyways, 2 short puts, close those out for, you know, max losers, you know, above 200%. I think they're like 300 to 400% losers. And then funny enough, on this defined risk account, it fared much better. I mean, it still took a pretty big hit, but, you know, August 1st at 31.49, and right now, oh, it dropped another $100. All right, so we'll say 27.55. Still a lot better, 12.5%. So that was the least amount that I lost. I guess that makes sense. It's defined risk, and even though a lot of these are in the money, almost all of them are. I broke these out to the longs and the shorts. I think all the longs are in the money except for this free hedge here. Oh, this free hedge too. But the shorts, I have this short put spread here. It's right at 200%, but it's not even in the money yet. And it claims it still has a 67% pop. So I'll just leave it. But yeah, I mean, everything else, you know, the shorts are, well, now that just jumped to 146. Man, it's all over the place. You know, they're about 100 to 150% losers on the shorts. So yeah, I guess it makes sense because, you know, the IV essentially doesn't affect the spreads, right? Because you have one that's gaining and one that's losing, and they just counteract each other. So it's basically all about price movement and time decay. So hopefully I can get some of these hedges off the board. I mean, some of these hedges are just ridiculously small. I mean, I don't know. I can't remember. I might have taken some of these hedges off, but you know, this one's at 40%, 50%, but it's only $12. So I don't know. I mean, it still has 116 days to expiration. So it's not going to kick in really. So anyways, it fared much better. The defined risk lost 12.5% approximately, which for the year only puts me down 3.7%, which isn't bad, all things considered. In comparison, this futures account is totally obliterated and way down in comparison. You know, the monthly change is negative 43%, and oh, I haven't updated these numbers. Give me a second. There we go. Down 861 on the year, which is down negative 42% on the entire account. And last but not least, the contributions is down 13% on the year, which all things considered isn't terrible. And yeah, I guess this just confirms that the 112, 111 is not infallible. They're not perfect. You know, the free hedges that you ultimately stack up don't protect you in a crazy crash like this. I don't quite remember perfectly, but for the futures account and the contributions account, I think combined I had like 5 or 6 naked puts, but then I had like 8 or 10 of the free hedges to, in theory, offset things. But again, since they are spreads, the IV didn't help them. It canceled out. So it was just strictly on the price movement. So those didn't gain as much as I was losing. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how that would pan out without the crazy spike in volatility. I mean, yeah, we're like down. Like, I think we total from top to bottom is about 10% in ES. That's a nice pullback. But a few months ago, we pulled back 7%, and it was nothing like this. Like nothing. I think the closest I got was like 100% losers, or maybe 150% losers. I didn't close them out because they didn't hit 200%, and that's because volatility stayed super low in comparison. Anyways, not sure where I'm going with this, but all that to say, I'm going to explore getting some better hedges in there, maybe something similar to the Sweet Bobby hedge. Maybe that is worth the time. A long time ago, I put out a video saying maybe I shouldn't do it because it's not worth the time and effort, but man, all it takes is one event like this. Yes, I understand nothing like this has happened for sure 4 years and potentially 6 years. But man, to lose half your account, granted this is a smaller account and there's going to be way bigger losses in theory just because of how it works. I don't know. I mean, Tom King and Sweet Bobby, they both lost 30, 40% too. So maybe not. And they had much, much larger accounts. All that being said, I just have these 2 short puts going. And amazingly, XSP, I didn't have to close out a single position yet. I'm pretty close on some of these, but I don't even know. I mean, they're defined risks, so in theory, you just kind of let them go. But, well, that's not true. If I let these expire in the money or close to it, they would lose like $700 each, and that's way too much for this account. So, yeah. I guess I'm close to closing out some of these. You know, this is negative 135. You know, this is negative 191. So if we get another down day tomorrow, which doesn't seem like it at this point, but man, the volatility is going crazy. Anyways, yeah, XSP weathered the storm pretty well. I'm really surprised. So I did buy 1 share of the SVXY just because why the hell not? So right now the MES or ES is up more than 1%. And yeah, I guess we'll just see how it pans out. Definitely took a beating today. Gonna try to figure out how to get a better hedging system. And that's it. Thanks for tuning in. I will keep you posted, hopefully better than I have in the last couple weeks. All right, see ya.